Welcome to Ken's Corner Podcast, Season 3. Get ready for expert analysis and rising wrestling stars. Now here we go with your host, Ken Judge.
Hey everyone, this is Ken from Sports Chatter and Ken's Corner, and we're back here with our crew. First, we're going to show a quick picture of our friend JT on his way to Las Vegas to watch that free agency. All right, we're back now. Guys, I'm going to introduce you. We got Phil all the way in Durham region of Ontario. Thanks for joining us. George, how's the water situation? Are you getting showered out there in that hot Calgary?
Oh, still doing it.
That's crazy. We got Ian. Thank you, Ian. You actually made it in from Nova Scotia. I know your internet's a bit off today, but yeah, we'll see. Well, hopefully we can keep you around here today to answer some questions. And Gord, I expect your internet to be fine. You're in downtown Toronto. Thanks again, as always, for joining us. Now, we're going to get right into this Blue Jays news of Orvelius Martinez, our hotshot rookie, I guess second baseman or infielder, in this 80-game suspension that I don't know if any of us expected that be handed down for PEDs. We're going to hand it off to our local baseball expert on our team. Phil, what's your feelings on this news today?
Obviously heartbreaking. He's brought up to the team to be able to supply us with some power. The guy has been hitting consistent home runs in every level of baseball that he's been in. He's our number 2 prospect behind Ricky Tiedemann. It's unfortunate that these guys take the off season to work out, do whatever they do. And I mean, they have professional trainers in place. You got to ask questions. This all comes back to the player and what he's putting on into his body. He had the opportunity and the resources to find out what was allowed and what wasn't allowed. And obviously he made the wrong choice.
Yeah. Gord, do you have anything to add to this conversation?
Well, they were talking about it today on the sportscast, and apparently it was to do with him and his wife or girlfriend trying to get pregnant, is what it was. And it was a substance in whatever he was taking. A little confused on why the trainer, everybody that they have working with the Toronto Blue Jays, whether it's at this level, at AAA, didn't catch this well in advance to know that as soon as he and it goes down, he's going to get suspended. They're not playing around with this anymore. You're going to take the suspension. He's not allowed to – he's got to go back to basically starting over. He's allowed to train, but that's it. He's not allowed to do anything else.
Yeah, he's gone for a big 80 games. You're right. George, is this news coming down the Blue Jays pipeline here? Does this mean the end of this season for the Jays? Are we going to rebound at all this year? We're in the middle of a 5-game losing streak, and last time I seen it, I turned it on. I was hoping that the rain delay would just continue and we maybe get a win today. But no, it's back on, and Cleveland is killing the ball, and I think it's like 7 or 8-3 now, and we're looking at 6 straight losses on the season. Is this the end for us this year?
Sorry, Ken. It's 6-4. 6-4.
6-4. George, sorry. Thank you, Gord, for correcting me. George.
I mean, it's obviously going to be hard to watch and hard to believe that that there's any kind of a playoff position for us. Let's just hope that we can do something just to show that we're still there. I don't think so. I think it's over. The season's only still what, we're halfway. Do you think we're halfway now?
We might be getting up to the halfway point. About that, I believe. Ian, yeah. Do you believe that we just get rid of some of these players and try and reset for another season?
It's so hard to call that. I mean, with this much time left, oh man, I would say you keep going as if, and I'm not the best one to ask about that.
Yeah,
that's a tricky one.
Yeah. Well, we'll jump back to you, George. Do you think that we need to get rid of the contracts of Guerrero and Bichette, maybe trade away Justin Turner and some of our pitchers and just bring in some prospects and hope that we can bring in someone in the offseason? Maybe that Shohei Otani. God, that would have been nice with his, what is it, 26 home runs this year? God, is that, I don't know. I don't know if that hurts California more than it hurts us. I'm not sure there. But do you think that is the way to go? Or maybe fire the manager?
Yeah, I'd be looking more of a manager or a coach. Snyder, I don't know. I'm not too much of a big fan of his. Getting rid of some big guys would definitely get us something. Maybe that's the way to go. We're not getting any power out of them or anything, right?
Yeah. Phil, Gord, Phil, you first. Exact same question.
Well, we had a big week here playing against some contenders in our division. We had a chance to catch up and pass Boston. I'm pretty sure that we got swept there. We played Cleveland. We won a couple of games, but we're still 5-6 games under 500. If we can't be a 500 team, we can't be a playoff team.
No.
I think that becoming sellers at the deadline is realistically the outlook for the team. I don't know who they're going to get rid of and what they're going to get back or whatever, because everyone seems to be underperforming. But it's going to be a crappy couple of years, I think, for Jays fans.
Yeah, you're right. Everyone is underperforming when you hear our manager saying he's going to throw the names of the players in a hat and make his lineup that way. That is not a good sign on your team getting by it, or obviously a struggling team. Gord, the same question for you. Do we reset, rebuild, fire the manager?
I think they're going to have to get rid of Schneider to start with, and see if they bring somebody in who possibly can get these guys to at least go. But if you're going to dump, I mean, I don't know how they're going to dump right currently, because, again, everybody's underperforming. It's 6-5 Indians now. So I just looked up and saw the screen. But I don't know. I can't see them getting rid of Guerrero. I can't see them getting rid of Bichette at this point in time. If they're going to dump anybody, it's probably going to be some of the newer guys that they brought in, Turner, things like that. But they've been inconsistent all over the board this year. It's not just one spot. Their pitchers have been off. Their bullpen's been all over the board. The Jays have had one of the best bullpens over the last 5 years of consistency. And now it's very inconsistent. You don't know if the guy coming in is how he's gonna do overall. It's been just been.
Obviously, injuries have also losing Romano twice this year. Now Jimmy Garcia's gone down. Swanson's gone down. It's just been a trickle effect where a guy goes down, another guy gets overused, too many innings, and all of a sudden, boom, he's gone too.
Yeah. All right. I don't know if you guys are depressed enough, but let's shift over to hockey here a little bit. And I don't know, it could be just as depressing. Edmonton coming back in this Stanley Cup Finals. Like, what the heck is going on? It seemed like Bobrovsky was the top of the world, and now what is it, 19-5 in goals? And the loss of McDavid chasing Gretzky. We could see the record if he gets 4 points in this game tomorrow. Guys, let's start with Ian. He's bouncing all over the place here. Ian, what's your take on what's going on out there?
I think what had happened was Bobrovsky, just like he did to us last year, he got into their heads and they thought we can't score on him. But from that game, whatever it was, half of game 3 on, it's been the other way around. And I think it's exactly the opposite. What I saw was a nervous Florida team, and Edmonton just seemed loosey-goosey. So, I mean, I called them because I loved their how they came into the ozone. Just incredible. McDavid is I mean, when we're talking about beating a Gretzky record, we're looking at something quite special.
Oh, 100%, 100%. George, let's move over to you. You're right there in Alberta. What's Calgary thinking right now? And are they thinking anything? Do they even care? Because I don't know. If Ottawa was in the finals, I'm not sure I would care. Maybe I would. I don't know. Your feelings on what's going on, and do you think Florida's going to win this game?
I'll tell you one thing. There's been a lot of bandwagon jumpers. I went out with the wife to have some dinner, and there was a lot of Oiler fans out there. And I'm quite surprised that they came back and did this. And I said, Florida's just like a Montreal. If they didn't have Florida, if Florida doesn't have Bobrovsky, their team isn't that great. You got the Oilers, you got McDavid, you got Hyman, you got Drysdale, you got a lot of good guys on that can score for them. And I'm not seeing that good on Florida there. And I think Bob was their heart, and their heart is dying.
Yeah. So, Phil, you called Edmonton. Is Edmonton going to break Leaf hearts like myself and break this Canadian curse of 32 years? Do you see them taking it home in Game 7?
Well, the Edmonton Oilers had three-game losing streaks throughout the year. They came back with 16 games in a row, 8 games in a row, 5 games in a row. Now they're on this three-game steamer. If anyone can win this, I think Edmonton's got as good a chance as anybody. They've proven it all year. I think Bobrovsky at his age, maybe a little bit overplayed getting into the playoffs, and now he's burnt out. Edmonton's been able to find the weak spots in the top of the net. Obviously, Bobrovsky down low has just been unbeatable. So Edmonton changed up their game plan. They started going upstairs, and they've been successful.
Yeah, you're right. They seem to be going high blocker, and they are cashing in on that, and some good rebounds. And that one that was in his skates that he almost stepped on was a little awkward, I found. Gord, how are you feeling? What's your Game 7 prediction here?
I'm gonna roll with Edmonton as much as it's breaking my heart. I really and truly, I think unless Bobrovsky pulls out a Patrick Waugh game and can steal that game, it's not going to happen. Florida had jet fuel going in, and literally they burned it out. They don't have anybody that can stop McDavid.
Yes. Yeah.
They've tried multiple people. The goal that Perry scored, the game-winning goal there, he took 4 Florida players with him to the left side and left Perry wide open standing there. I would have scored that goal myself.
One of them in
Yeah. Go ahead.
It's confusing how much they were gung-ho. Florida was flying. They were hitting. Their defense was phenomenal. And they went into Game 4, and I just think Edmonton decided that it was time to go back playing hockey. They stopped putting all the pressure on themselves, and they had fun. They were laughing. They were giggling. They were on the bench. There was no pressure on them. They knew if it was the last game, the last game. You put all that pressure on yourself. That's just Knobloch said it perfectly. Both teams are going into this with knowing this is the last game of the season. So if you go into it with pressure,
Skinner over there.
Oh, I mean, you're right, George. Skinner's been phenomenal. I mean, the first 3 games he played. Not gonna lie, he was horrid. But now he's taken over for him. Yeah. It's like they did this flip of the ice, and Bobrovsky can't stop nothing on his blocker side at all for some reason. They've just got that ability, and like Phil said, he's phenomenal down low, but up top, that blocker side, it's his giant weakness. He's got a big giant target there.
Yeah. Okay. One more thing about what's going on here. Okay, Ian, we were talking about it looked like Bobrovsky or Barkov would be the MVP of the series. Now, I heard a statement that even if Florida wins, that
Yes.
Connor McDavid is going to be awarded it. Does and we'll go around here. Do everyone agree with that? Even if Florida wins this cup, does McDavid win the MVP? Ian.
100%. Yeah, 100%. Again, we're watching something quite special. The way he can take on a game and take over a game. And again, like I said, once we're talking about getting anywhere near a Wayne Gretzky record, we're seeing something that doesn't happen that often. And he's the real deal. He is a beauty to watch.
George.
Yeah, I agree that he should get the MVP. He wasn't the first or second game that they started up, but after that third and going on, McDavid's been carrying the team.
Phil?
Yeah.
I always hated this. I hated it when they do it in baseball and everything. I always feel like the winning team should have the MVP or the best player in the series. I understand what McDavid is doing is special, and he's having an unbelievable series. He's totally turned the series around for Edmonton, but winning team gets the MVP in my heart and head.
And Gord.
I think if Edmonton wins it, I agree that McDavid should just walk away with it.
Sure, it's not.
I find it very hard, like Phil said, to give it to McDavid if he loses the cup. I think it should be somebody on that winning team. However, with the way that Florida's played over the last,
Okay, but then who?
look, I will say this: there is nobody like McDavid in the league. Period. There is nobody. The talent that he has to go from one end of the ice to the other, his passing, he is the all-around player. But again, I will say I do agree with Phil. I find it hard to give it to McDavid if he doesn't win the cup, because I think it should go to somebody on the winning team.
Yeah.
But again, does anybody step up? I mean,
Yeah.
Barkov's been null and void. He's been nowhere.
Ian, my answer to what you said, then who? My answer to that is the only person I believe, the only player that I believe can stop McDavid in that.
Yeah, well, that's what I was saying. If we're going to give
Florida winning the cup, it's going to have to be Bobrovsky himself. If he comes out there and shuts down Edmonton and wins the cup, well,
Yeah.
it should go to him. But if
Yes.
McDavid comes out
That's the
there
only way.
and he beats you know what I mean? He lights him up, then it's his show, right? Or even if Edmonton just wins
Yes.
and McDavid gets nothing, it's probably still his award to take home. Okay,
Yes.
anyway, we're going to talk a little bit about the Leafs before I give you my Argonaut story and why I'm wearing this Toronto Argo jersey here today. Let's talk a little bit about the draft. I don't know. I heard Michael Haig as a choice. Do you expect any trades to happen? And let's just go around one time because we're going to take the week off. Obviously, happy Canada Day, everyone, guys. But pick one player, get it ready now, and decide who that player is that you want to see signed on free agent day. It can be an existing one, and I don't know, Bertuzzi might be signed by then. That's possible. Or it could be someone coming in from the outside. Phil, we're going to start with you. Are you seeing anything for the draft? Are you seeing any trade at the draft? And who would your player be at free agency?
Well, I don't necessarily see any major deals happening for the Leafs at the draft that at least I've seen being reported on. With all the coverage of the Stanley Cup in Edmonton, to tell you the God's honest truth, I haven't seen much conversation or reports on the draft and in Leafland anyway. So, I mean, our defense would be ideal if we can make some type of a big move, bringing in a stud defenseman. There's been all kinds of names out there from last season and everything else. Obviously, a couple of them are still playing in the playoffs with Montador, and I think there was somebody else that at least are talking about. But I can't wait for the free agent signing on Canada Day. See what happens with Leafland, and if Marner's going to sign Bertuzzi.
Domi.
Domi, yeah.
Ian, we're gonna go down corner wise to you.
Listen, I'm probably going to agree with the decisions every one of you guys make, but I just want to go left field. What about Jeff Skinner? What about a little sneaky signing and a Jeff Skinner?
Yeah, I think he would come in at a little cheaper than his $8 million that he's making, or did make him in that last contract. So he is an Ontario boy. I believe he's from the Cobourg area. So that, hey, you know what? That's very innovative. Thank you so much for that. George, do you have anything in mind?
Well, I'd like to see Domi. I'd like to see Domi signed, and of course, I would like to see Big Z out of Vancouver get taken out of there and brought to us.
Yes.
And Gord, your turn. Is Gord frozen?
Poke him.
Okay, well, maybe we'll get back to Gord. It looks like he's having some technical difficulties on his end, but his picture looks great. He left us. Okay, well, maybe I'll just go in. I'll fill in for Gord. What do I want to see? Now, this is a tough question. There's so many players that I have been intrigued by. The Rooker McGrody out of Winnipeg, he sounds like a great little pickup. And I don't know if I said that right. Phil's laughing at me up there. Dakota Joshua, that's a great name. How about DeBrusque out of Boston?
I did see the DeBrusque one. Yeah.
Jake DeBrusque. That would be an amazing pickup and a steal out of Boston. 2 years in a row, we steal someone out of Boston. That's a win to me. At the draft, I don't know. I just want this Marner thing to get done one way or another. But please don't let it drag on into the middle of the season that we have to hear it. And guys like us have to talk about it all the time. Either sign the damn contract or please exit stage right and bring us back our package of, here's Gord, our package that we truly would get back in a Marner trade. I'm sure that would only help our team.
And if it drags on, what kind of a player is he going to play? You know, if he's not signed, is he going to go out there and skate around in circles like a Nylander waiting on a big paycheck?
I don't think so, because you're playing for a contract at that point. You're showcasing yourself and your talents. Remember how Nylander was playing before he got that contract? He was lights out. He was like 20 goals, and then he signs a contract, and then he was crap.
Well, let's hope it's not dragged out exactly what Ken was saying, because I don't want to see a player that either doesn't want to be there or you want to see a player on the ice that wants to play for your team.
That's it.
Sorry, guys. I'm just trying to let Gord back in here. He's having some problems. Wow. Anyway, does anyone else have anything to add into this?
You know what I keep thinking? What if I'm in Washington and I really want Ovechkin to hit that Gretzky number? I would be all over Marner setting him up all day for that one timer. I've not heard any sniffing from Washington at all. Have you?
No, not at all. Who would we get back in a trade like that?
I would take Tom Wilson straight up, 1 for 1.
Tom Wilson?
Yeah. Wilson, yeah, for sure.
I'll take Wilson 1 for 1. Yeah.
Sorry, guys. I'm still trying to let Gord back into our meeting here. It's not working out though. Well, at least we had Gord for half the show. Anyway, I want to talk about the Toronto Argonauts real quick. So yesterday I went down as part of the Toronto Argonauts media team. Actually, my game day pass is right there. I don't know if you can see that. Probably not.
That's awesome.
Yeah. My second one. So I walk into this office. I was all confident in trying to show my editor Sean that I know what I'm doing. Don't worry, follow me. We walked into the room and they said, "You can't be here." We're like, "Huh?" I'm like, "Excuse me, I have this pass. I'm part of the media. I think I am allowed here." I said, "Is this the press box?" And she said, "Yes, it's a press box." I said, she goes, "But you have the wrong tag. It's that's for fans." I'm like, "So the media relationship, Chris Bolanovich gave me a fan pass?" I'm like, I don't mind watching the Argonauts play, but that's really not why I came down here. And then this other guy goes, "Wait,
Yeah.
if he has the wrong one, then I have the wrong one." And then lo and behold, we all had the same pass inside that room, except for the lady herself that said media pass on hers. So she says, "Sorry, we're used to people walking in and they want free food." I said, "Well, on that note, since I'm legally here, can I have free food?" So I took a little bit of food, sat down, I'm watching the game, getting into it. All of a sudden, the Argos made this ridiculous run, touchdown. Kadeem Carey, our new running back out of Calgary, came in from Calgary. Okay, I think Gord might come back. I don't know. So, yeah, I started cheering. And the lady says, "Guys," and I'm like, "High five." And she's like, "No high five. Don't cheer in the press box." I'm like, "Oh, wow. Jesus, I'm getting talked to like a schoolboy around here."
Right? It's the North Korea Argos. What the hell is that about?
The experience overall, though, was great. The Argos, again, it's kind of funny. Last year, I was at an Edmonton game. This year, I'm at an Edmonton game. So I kind of retraced the steps that I did last year. We got to walk out onto the field, which was pretty surreal for my editor following in behind me saying, "Where are we going? Where are we going?" I'm like, "We're going to the Argos locker room." We had a chance to go into the locker room and hear the victory speech from the coach and get a couple of interviews. So I felt like a superstar for a day. Kids were asking me for my autograph, which I promptly turned down.
Wait for me, kids.
Yeah. So anyway, there's my Argo experience, guys.
Awesome.
Thanks. We still have 9 minutes here. We got lots more time. If anyone has anything, I'm still trying to let Gord in here, but I just don't think it's going to work out.
I got a little something to throw out there. The men's national soccer team played for the first time ever in the Copa America tournament that's happening down in the States. Sure, we got Argentina, the number one team of the world, but the fact that Argentina have been in this tournament for 42 times, they've won it 14 or 15 times, but our men's team made it there for the first time ever, and that's a huge accomplishment after making the World Cup, after this trend that we've been on with soccer in Canada. The women's team has been fantastic, and now the men are finally stepping up, making these tournaments. It's good for the game. It's good for the grassroots of soccer in Canada.
Where do we move in the rankings? Does that move us up at all because of how?
Yeah, we moved from 49th to 48th.
Hey man, that's pretty amazing, all things considered.
Top 50 in the world for men's soccer teams.
For soccer in Canada, that's pretty good.
Yeah, considering soccer is probably the biggest sport in the whole wide world, so that's still pretty good. There's a lot of countries out there competing for sure.
There sure is. Yeah.
So I'm a little curious about that jersey you're wearing there today.
Yeah.
The Crew, baby.
And tell us about it.
That's my men's league baseball team down here. The one that I help run, and it's a good group of guys. We have a lot of fun. It's just a beer league, 38 games or whatever, but it's a blast.
But this is overhand hardball. This is not softball.
Softball.
It's called slow pitch. As a matter of fact, it's a game's built around guys our age. But I'll tell you, that ball gets hit really hard at you. So
man.
Be aware of it.
Absolutely. Right on. What position do you play?
Right now I would play second base, but I can play anywhere. Normally I'm pitching and shortstop or whatever, but I'm too old and fat for the outfield now. Shut up, George.
Yeah, I was gonna say that.
All of us, you and me both, bro.
Well, no, this is what sports chatter is meant to be, guys. Thank you so much.
See, I can play outfield, but the young guy got fatter than his brother. So
That happens.
Hey guys, I do want to give you a little bit of an announcement that I want to actually share with the people who are watching our video, because guess what? We're getting played a lot on Facebook. Every episode that we have done in Sports Chatter has, well, our first one we're at 1.4 thousand, and we've been steadily holding at 2,000 plays for our last 4 episodes. So someone's listening to us out there, and we're getting about 400 views on TikTok. So I think someone's listening to what we're saying and thinking we might have a little bit of knowledge in sports. So thank you so much for playing along, and thanks to everyone for watching. And you know what? Make sure that you go hit up YouTube, Ken's Korner Podcast 2023 on YouTube, because we need some subscribers there, and we can get a lot more content and bring on different aspects. And you know what? I've even pitched Jeff Merrick from Sportsnet into joining us here one day. He hasn't said yes, but you never know, right? I think he wants to come on to the radio more than he wants to be here, but maybe I'll trick him and tell him it's the radio. Gord, he's coming back. He finally made it back here for the last couple of minutes. Let's get his pick for the Leafs, if he can get on here with us. You there, Gord?
no.
Round of applause for Gord. Gord, you made it back. You can hear us now.
I literally tried 5 different times to join back in. It literally said the host has kicked you out. I'm like,
I kept adding you, and I kept getting you, and I kept hitting them. But anyway, we're down to our last 4 minutes. Unfortunately, your picture was great, by the way. The picture you left behind when you froze. But we're going to get to the question that we're on. Unfortunately, you missed my Argos story, but hey, just watch the video. I do want to let you know that we are getting 2,000 plays on our Sports Chatter episodes on Facebook, which I announced to the guys. Just real quick, who do you want to see come free agent frenzy? And are you excited for July 1st?
oh wow, that's an open-ended question, to be honest with
3
you.
minutes.
They need a goalie to start with, but they got to bring in some more defensemen. I think if they can bring in Montour like is projected, there's a couple other names that have been floated around out there recently, but they got to do something. They were talking about a move with LA for Cam Talbot and 2 defensemen. I'm not sure, but I am excited to see if any of the pieces are going to move around that maybe will open up another opportunity to kind of grab somebody in that process. If not, I can't see them doing a whole lot of big splashes. I don't think there's going to be much availability trade market wise.
Okay, thank you so much. I'm glad that you came on to end up and finish for us here today. Phil, I imagine you have a baseball game to get to. Thank you so much for being on here today, and good luck to the Brew Crew, the defending champions of his league, by the way. Ian, all the way from Nova Scotia, your internet and your wife were amazing today. Thank you to both. Gord, thanks for getting back on here from downtown Toronto. And here I thought it was Ian's internet that had an issue.
I know it, right?
I shouldn't have said that at the start. And George, out in Calgary, we hope that your water issues get fixed real soon and you get back to normal. Thank you so much. And let us know next time you're on how the reaction is one way or another, what happens tomorrow night of the people of Alberta after the Edmonton Elks either win that Stanley Cup or lose it. Thank you very much. My name's Ken. We're on Sports Chatter here today on Ken's Corner.
Thanks, guys. See you soon.
Come on, guys.
See ya.